There is a man there tonight who is lucky to be alive, and frankly, we're very lucky to be speaking with him tonight, and that's Christian Fell, because he survived the flood. He actually did that by standing for nearly 3 hours on a meter box. And Christian, I am grateful to be speaking with you. You know, we heard that story, Ryan, talking about seeing the child's Bible with the verses highlighted, and we all know the incredible and incomprehensible loss that families are facing right now. But you're alive, and it is a miracle. And amidst your family home, which is completely destroyed, can you tell me what happened? You know, we go through timelines here of, well, an alert came at this time or at this time. How was that like when you're in the middle of the night asleep and you realize something's wrong?
You know, it's just kind of like a whirlwind of an experience. You just wake up and it's just like any other night, and then you come to realize that it quickly turned into a nightmare.
So we have the actual meter box. This is the meter box that saved your life. You stood on it for nearly 3 hours. So when you got onto that, did you even think as you were getting on it, saying, okay, I'm going to do this to try to survive, or did it almost happen instinctually? And then when you get onto that meter box, Christian, what did you think then as you're standing for 3 hours?
It definitely is I think, a blessing that the meter box was there, because I don't even think I remembered that was on that side of the building. So as I started to climb it, I just realized I needed to get out of the water as quickly as I could and just find something to hold on to so the water couldn't take me away. And I mean, I just saw cars getting carried away with their hazard lights flashing on and off, and industrial-sized propane tanks just floating down through a park that used to be there.
You had a lot of time there. I don't even know if you were able to think, but 3 hours. Did you think about whether you might die? And at what point did you realize you were actually going to live?
You know, it definitely crossed my mind. Standing there with nothing else to hold on to but a metal pipe, you know, screwed into a wall. It's not like an ideal situation. I just have to be thankful that the rest of the house stayed in place, because I saw everything else that happened afterwards, and you know, I'm really thankful to be here. I'm quite blessed, to be honest.
Yes, well, you are, but when I also want to try to understand, Christian, because so many are trying to understand what seems to be such a tragic loss of life that in so many cases didn't have to happen. And I know that you woke up by the sound of thunder, right? If I'm right, you didn't actually wake up because you got an alert on your phone, or, you know, hearing that blaring coming out of your phone, and that your home was already flooding when you actually received that alert. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? I mean, it was literally thunder that saved your life, not the alert?
Yes, ma'am. I woke up to the sound of thunder, and I didn't think anything of it. I thought it was just like any other storm, and until I heard some odd noises coming from deeper in the house. And so I get up to investigate, and when I swing my feet over the side of the bed, I realized I was standing in water, and you know, that's never a normal circumstance to be in. And so I go to investigate, and I realize that the whole portion of the house is ripped up, and there's water flooding through the floor.
Wow. Well, Christian, thank God you were able to think so quickly, to act so quickly, and to be able to tell the story. Thank you very much for sharing.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me.
The death toll from flooding in Texas Hill Country is now at least 104. It's been rising all day. Among those victims, those staying at a Riverside RV park owned by Lorena Guillen. I spoke with her shortly before airtime. I understand you woke up early in the middle of the night and went down to check the level of the river. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct. I was, well, actually, I hadn't gone to sleep. I have a restaurant right here on site, and my house is right here. And I closed the restaurant at around 1 o'clock in the morning. and it was started to rain really heavily, and I could not sleep. So around 2:30 in the morning, I went to check the water levels of the river. So I drove all the way to the edge of the river, and I looked down, and it was fine. Everything was wet, but it was fine. And I called the sheriff department at that time, and I asked them how was the upper river area, and they had no information at that point. So I went to bed.
And then when did you wake up next?
I started to see a lot of lights from the rescue team, and that's what woke me up. And my husband and I ran down the stairs and run into the RV park, and there was we noticed there was a lot of water coming our way. The rescue team were trying to get their boats on the water to rescue a family that was being swept by the water. My husband got all the way to the waist into the river because the father was walking towards us with his two babies in his arms. And my husband kept yelling at him, throw your baby at me. And at that point, a big wave came by, and they both got swept away. My husband, fortunately, he got caught near the edge of the river at that point, and he was able to hold on and climb out and into safety. He hadn't told me that until today. Otherwise, he knows I would have been really mad about that. But then while he was doing that, I was going from door to door, on knocking on every single RV we had to get everybody to safety, and getting people out. There was no time. The water was racing so fast. It went from nothing to 35 feet above all the way to the restaurant, 35 feet in 45 minutes. And
Wow.
while we were doing that, you can see a lot of vehicles floating away with the lights on, and you can hear a lot of honking and people banging against the windows screaming for help.
People were in the vehicles floating away.
Yes, it was coming so fast. We've never seen a flood that fast. Never.
The man with the babies, who your husband was saying, throw me your babies, did he make it?
Him and his wife have been found, but the babies have not.
So
And
of
it
all
was
the people staying in your RV park, was that the only family that were killed?
Yes, we were, I'm going to say this word loosely, fortunate enough that one of my residents heard them screaming for help, and he called 911 immediately. So we were one of the first RV parks that were helped by the rescue team, and that's what woke up everybody. So we were able to start getting people out immediately, and all of the RVs were gone. Every possession, my 28 residents that I had here lost. Everything was gone. So.
But you were able to help get most of them out, except for that family.
Except for that family,
Wow.
yes, sir.
And I understand you had an employee, Julian Ryan. Is that right? You closed the restaurant at 1. I'm told he went home. What happened to him?
Yes, we left the restaurant a little before 1 o'clock. It was raining so hard. I told him, "Don't worry about it. Don't take the trash out. We'll do that in the morning. Go home, be with your family. It's raining too hard." And he left. His house was flooding, so he broke a window to get his family to safety. And in the process of he cut an artery of his arm. He got his family out into safety, but he bled to death.
Oh my
and
gosh.
he
We're showing his picture. How old was Julian?
He was in his late 20s, a wonderful kid, trying to make a living, working hard, extremely polite and well-mannered. Everything was yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir. That was that type of kid he was. He was a local kid who grew up here with family here. His mom was there, you know, very well loved by everybody. So it's just a complete, you know, just we don't understand how. We're just devastated by losing him and losing the family. But I want to make a point that we're just one tiny little part of this whole devastation. The devastation goes for miles and miles and miles.
Lorena, I'm so sorry for what have been through and what you're going through, and I'm so glad you were able to help get so many people out of those RVs. And I'm glad your husband's okay. Lorena Guillen, thank you so much.